This is the third in a series of resources on the roles of money, the federal government, and the Fed in the economy of the United States. Part 1 considers money, how it is defined, how it is measured, and how it is created. Part 2 looks at the money market and what creates demand for money. Part 3 inspects inflation and its cost to the economy. Part 4 considers fiscal policy, defining it and its role in stabilizing the economy. Part 5 inspects the federal budget, its components, how it is funded, and what role federal deficits play in the economy. Part 6 looks at the Fed, its role, structure, and functions in the economy. The final part of the series considers monetary policy and how all aspects of fiscal and monetary policy affect the gross domestic product. Inflation gets a bad rap. The official definition of inflation is the rate of change in some price index. Mathematically, this would be the quantity of the new cost minus the old cost divided by the old cost. This result is then multiplied by 100 to create the inflation percentage. So high prices are not the fault of inflation. All inflation does is measure the percent change in the prices. Inflation is the result of the increase in prices, not the other way around. Sometimes prices actually drop. This phenomena is deflation, which measures falling prices of goods and services. While it sounds nice if prices drop, it is actually not a good situation for the economy. Entities cannot pay their debts, which are set at old purchasing power levels. Think about a store that struggles to make their $5,000 per month mortgage payment. In the case of deflation, the store's income will likely drop, and they will not be able to pay their mortgage. However, deflation is very rare. So what are the results of normal inflation? There are two types of inflation: anticipated and unanticipated. Business entities can anticipate certain amounts of inflation and the related costs. One cost of anticipated inflation are the menu costs. Because the price level is rising, the cost for goods increases. This means businesses must print new price lists, which cost money. Another cost of anticipated inflation are shoe leather costs. These rise from trying to reduce the amount of cash held by a firm, since inflation erodes into the real value of the cash. Therefore, the firms try to invest the money in some manner, stocks or bonds. But there is often some surcharges for making such purchases. Companies plan on certain amounts of inflation per year and adjust their annual budgets accordingly. Not all inflation is expected, however. This unanticipated inflation creates its own unique costs, usually in the form of arbitrary redistributions of income. For example, employee wages may be negotiated at some anticipated inflation percentage, say 2%. A reasonable wage increase would then be 3%, which means the employee has an effective increase in wages of 1%. But what happens if the actual inflation rate is 5%? Then the wage increase cannot cover the increase in price level, and the employee loses out on any real increase in wages.